Thank you so much for joining me here at the live desk. I am Janae Hancock. Right now it is October 4th, and we are dealing with a lot of national news this morning, a lot of breaking news. And I do want to turn back to that live shot that we started off with. This is coming in from Sacramento, California. As you can see here on your screen, more than 75,000 healthcare workers are walking off of the job this morning in what is being called the largest healthcare strike in U.S. history. That's after unionized healthcare workers, including nurses and EMTs, failed to negotiate new contracts with Kaiser Permanente. The majority of affected facilities are in the western states, including California, Colorado, Oregon, and Washington. Workers are also striking in Virginia and Washington, D.C. as well this morning. But you can see there on the front line, a lot of healthcare workers are sitting there and they are standing in solidarity with one another, and they are urging for increased pay, job protections, and solutions to fix labor shortages. Now, we do know this morning that the strike is temporary and Kaiser Permanente workers will return to work on October 7th. So that is coming up in just a few days. That is going to take place on Saturday. But this has been the latest breaking news so far this morning, and we'll continue to track the latest developments. But again, we are taking a live look coming out of Sacramento, California, where these workers have been on strike since early this morning when it was still dark outside. And we saw a large majority of healthcare workers on the front line as well, on strike in Colorado as well. So we hope to bring you that live shot throughout the day. So be sure to stay tuned in for that. Right now, I do want to take a look at politics and another story that we are following in the KCTV5 newsroom. Taking a look at this video you see here on your screen. The news broke yesterday, but like I said, our coverage continues this morning as new updates continue to come in. The House is currently searching for a new speaker this morning after Representative Kevin McCarthy was ousted yesterday. The tally was 216 to 210, with 8 Republicans siding with Democrats to remove him from the speakership. And we just received a new update from CNN. We do know that Representative Jim Jordan became the first Republican to publicly say that he'll be the next House Speaker, aiming to replace Kevin McCarthy, who was ousted yesterday, like I mentioned. Now, we also know that GOP Representative Patrick McHenry, he is a top McCarthy ally, has been named interim Speaker, and the House is expected to stay in recess for the rest of the week. Right now, I do want to take a look at the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, taking a look at Kevin McCarthy's tweet last night. He says that I will not seek to run again for Speaker of the House. I may have lost a vote today, but I fought for what I believe in. He goes on to say, and I believe in America. It has been an honor to serve. Again, that is the latest statement coming in from Kevin McCarthy after the breaking news yesterday. The White House has also called on the GOP to elect a new speaker very quickly. So as far as what you need to look out for following this breaking news, next Tuesday, Republicans, they are expected to conduct a candidate forum. The GOP conference will nominate their candidate for speaker, and they'll pick their new leadership team sometime next week, which only requires a majority vote. Then the full House will vote for the new speaker. The timing of the full floor vote is unclear at this moment. But again, this is the first time that this has happened in history, so our coverage will continue following this story. Taking a look at another headline this morning, I know we mentioned it on our morning show earlier today, but we do expect to hear from President Biden a little bit later, in a few hours exactly. Take a look at this video and that headline here on your screen. President Joe Biden, he is canceling another $9 billion in student loan debt. This comes just days after payments resumed earlier this week following a 3-year pause. And the White House says that it is conducting fixes to what it calls a broken student loan system. And after an audit, it was able to use existing debt relief programs to help 125,000 borrowers, totaling the $9 billion. Now, since Biden has been in office, the White House says it has canceled $127 billion of debt for nearly 3.6 million borrowers. Biden is expected to speak later today. Like I mentioned, you can expect that live shot coming up at around 12 p.m. He will be taking the podium in the White House as far as the student debt is concerned, canceling more of that for a lot lot of borrowers today. And if you want to know if you are included in that, you definitely want to make sure you tune in to President Biden's speech coming up at around 12 p.m. Central Time later on today. This is the next headline that we are following. Breaking news from overnight. 5 people were shot on the campus of Morgan State University in Baltimore late last night, and police say that 4 of the 5 shooting victims, they were students. They range in age from 18 to 22 years old, and all of their injuries are non-life-threatening. So that is the good news to take away from this situation. But according to university officials, the shooting happened in the midst of the school's homecoming week celebrations, and police did not say how many people are suspected in the shooting, but they did confirm that no arrests have been made just yet. And right now, it is still unclear exactly what led up to this situation. But as you can see here on your screen, there was a large police presence there on campus late last night. And again, it's taking place during their homecoming week celebrations. We did hear from the Baltimore mayor, and I do want to take a listen in to what he said to the media.
We need action now. There are things that can be done, particularly at the level of Congress, that could help stop the next shooting on a campus, at a church, at a supermarket from happening. And when is enough going to be enough? When will the sanctity of American lives and the sanctity of American college students and students that get their education outweigh the sanctity of American guns?
Again, that is the mayor of Baltimore. His name is Brandon Scott, and he actually goes on to say that there is an epidemic when it comes to guns and gun violence here in the U.S., not just in Baltimore and not just on the campus of Morgan State University. So he says he is urging lawmakers to do something. Now, classes at the university have been canceled today. Again, that is breaking news coming in from overnight in Baltimore. Finally, the final headline that we are following today, and we will continue to follow as we look ahead to 1:20 later on today, Central Time. This video, do not forget that a loud screech will come from your smartphone today. Now, the federal government is planning a nationwide test of the emergency alert system at around 1:20 Central Time today. The test will include wireless emergency alerts in addition to television as well as radio. So you should also receive a text message telling you that it is only a test, but there are concerns that the universal emergency alert could put some people in danger. So let's break that down a little bit further. Victims of domestic abusers who have hidden their phones for their safety, especially since the alert cannot be blocked like Amber Alerts typically are. So again, with all of that being said, we are hearing from national organizations who really protect these victims, and they're saying that there could be a workaround. Victims of abuse can turn off their phones during the time of the alert. So that is just one way to work it out. And they're saying, you know, keep it off for around 30 minutes if you can, or if you know someone who may be in a domestic violence situation, let them know to keep it off up to 30 minutes or even longer if possible, just so that the national emergency alert test can really go through. Now, if the test is postponed due to significant events today, like widespread severe weather, the makeup date will take place on October 11th. But again, you can expect your phones to go off, televisions and radios, at around 1:20 Central Time today. But as always, we are still staying on top of this top headline right now. And right now, you're still taking a live look from Sacramento, California, where more than 75,000 healthcare workers are walking off the job in what is being called the largest healthcare strike here in U.S. history. We have our noon newscast coming up here in a bit, so be sure to tune into that as well.